Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool. And in this tool tourism video, we're going to take a stroll through Charlie's Secondhand Store. This is a storefront in Denver, Colorado. And the place is about 100 years old, and it is packed to the gills with high quality name brand tools. Mostly used, but I did see a lot of new tools and new old stock. Anyway, as we walk through here, and I have to really thank the owner, Steve, for letting me do some video in the store. Yes, I did buy some things. But what I decided to do was kind of narrate this video with some information that I found about Charlie's, and also some Google reviews that I thought were kind of interesting, kind of telling. So if you're in Denver, please stop by this place, just if nothing else for the experience. I mean, we're talking 2 levels, floor to ceiling of tools, and a lot of it, kind of supplementing the ambiance or these museum quality displays of tools. But anyway, on their website, there is an About Us section, and it says, "We are a family business with over 100 years of experience in selling tools. Charlie's Secondhand Store has been a family-owned and operated Colorado company since 1928, originally in Pueblo. In 1946, we moved to the historic Lodo District in downtown Denver. Our current owner is Steve. He is the 3rd generation in the business. We have 3 keys to our business: knowledge, customer service, and relationships. We feel that you don't stay in business for as long as we have without exemplary customer service. We take a true personal interest in our customers. We are always willing to answer phone calls during regular business hours. If you prefer, email us with your questions and we will make sure they get answered. All tools sold, whether used or like new, are cleaned, inspected, and tested for operation prior to sale. We strive to buy American-made products whenever possible. Charlie's Secondhand Store has been written up in the Denver Post, Westward, as well as being featured on KUSA News." So I dug up the Denver Post article. It's by Mike McPhee, writes for the Denver Post, and it was published May 17th, 2009. It's titled, "Used Tools in Sharp Demand at Unique Denver Shop." It's a mess in Charlie's Secondhand Store. There are hundreds of loose sockets, wrenches, screwdrivers, handsaws, drill presses, welders, table saws, tool belts, extension ladders, brooms, shovels, and lawnmowers. The walls above the packed shelves are covered with antique tools that are not for sale. But for a loose cult of mechanics, bike couriers, and car collectors, the cluttered shop at 22nd and Larimer Streets is a hardware heaven. I've been coming here for 20 years and have never had a bad deal, said Ed Berkshire, 67, a retired aviation mechanic who has an enormous machine shop in his home. They know a lot about the tools they sell here, and they don't try to squeeze the last dollar out of you. Started in Pueblo in 1928 by Charlie Rosenblatt, Charlie's is one of the oldest continuously operated family businesses in Colorado. Charlie's son Harold moved the store to 19th and Larimer in Denver in 1946, and then in 1972 to 2227 Larimer Street. Charlie's grandson, Steve Rosenblatt, 46, grew up in the shop and now runs it. Not to be confused with a pawn shop, Charlie's is stocked with high-quality used tools of almost any kind. Prices run about half of those for new tools. Rosenblatt said he has the entire inventory in his head. He buys tools from people who come in off the street, trusting only his gut about the person to sense whether the tools are stolen. "I feel the guy out," he said, "get an idea for who he is and why he's selling. He pays cash and takes the risk of losing the tools if the serial number matches a list of stolen tools that police bring in twice a week. He tests every tool before it is resold and has a large pile, the size of a Volkswagen Bug, of all kinds of stuff waiting to be tested. I'll get to it, he laughs. Some of it's been there for 10 years. Peter Wyckoff, a cyclist and commercial real estate broker, walked in looking for a torque wrench for his carbon fiber racing bike. The guys at Turin Bike Shop sent me here, Wyckoff said, amazed by the selection. I'll come here now before I go to Sears again. Rosenblatt said he gets 4 or 5 bike couriers a week looking for tools. Pedicab drivers shop at Charlie's too. He does his best when the economy is sour. When it's good, people will splurge and buy new. They also don't want to sell. Everything changes when the economy is bad, he said. Working at Charlie's is the only job Rosenblatt has ever had, but he says he has no regrets. It's not for everybody, but I sleep very well at night, he says with a big grin. This is a labor of love for me. On their website, Charlie's also sells t-shirts, and the tagline is, "We are oddly fond of tools." And then it has their address and phone number. I think that's a great shirt. That's kind of how I feel quite often. Anyway, I found some Google reviews, and I pulled out a few that I thought were kind of interesting. So I'm not going to bother saying who they're from, but I'll just read the reviews. Here's one. It says, I defy you to go into Charlie's and not have a good time. If you love clutter on a mind-boggling scale or want to feel your testosterone jump to dangerous levels, this is the place for you. Another one here. I've been haunting this place for 15 years, but I think it's been open since Zebulon Pike explored the area. They have a gazillion handsaws, axes, screws, extension cords, power tools, and more random items than you can literally imagine. One could outfit 100 wood or metalworking shops from this place. Another one says, best part is they almost never charge you the price on the item. They usually drop the price at the counter because they are just glad you are there. Also, they will buy your used stuff at a good price. We buy anything that doesn't eat, pretty much sums it up. I'd have to agree. I picked out a few things while I was there, and the prices immediately dropped from what was written on them, which was already good prices. Another one says, another review, the best spot in all of Denver, the best staff who are cool, knowledgeable, and friendly. Me and 2 friends went in on a whim and ended up with vinyls, vintage, National Geographic collections, books, and more. We look back fondly at the great conversations we had there with the staff and are excited to make this a priority visit every time we're in Denver. 10 out of 10 experience. I should mention that, in addition to tools, they have lots of books. I have some in the video, but also just other things. So if you have kind of any appreciation for quality used gear, remember this is called a second-hand store. It just happens to be mostly of tools. There's all kinds of other things there. Another review, I cannot say enough good things about this shop, the owner and others who work there. They have everything, from what I could tell, or can figure out something to get the job done. Friendly, old school, just a wonderful shopping experience. We'll be back. Another review said, first time here and it was awesome. Great variety of tools. Owner gave me a discount for working with the city. I will definitely be back. Another review, great store, phenomenal staff. And both of those have 4 exclamation points. So this guy obviously buys his exclamation points at Costco. More exclamation points to come. One of the best shopping experiences I've ever had. Though the store may have looked slightly chaotic, he knew exactly what tools he had and where they were. Massive selection of tools. He was very empathetic to our plight. My boyfriend's truck and work trailer had just been stolen, and he only had liability. He was very patient with us. We never felt rushed. I would highly recommend this store to anyone, especially people who are facing similar circumstances as us. Another review, never in my life have I enjoyed a shopping experience more than I did at Charlie's. I just bought a house and had a ton to buy. These guys hooked it up. I wanted to have a drink, hang out with the owners, and discover all of the treasures hidden amongst the shelves. I don't know why anyone would buy anything new in Denver because this place has it all. Super fair prices, so knowledgeable, 15 out of 10, would recommend. Another review, Steve and Ron are the most fun you can ever have shopping. This is a tool person's dream. You can get better quality tools for cheaper than any big box store. Not only that, you can spend hours talking about anything with these guys. They remember everything about the history of the block for the last 30 years. I've been shopping there and sending my crews there for tools for 20 years now. They are an amazing unsung asset to the neighborhood. They help guys just getting back on their feet with tools for the job. They work with several local shelters helping people get back to meaningful employment. Best shop on Larimer Street, but most people have never been in. And then lastly, on this, absolutely my favorite store anywhere. Charlie's always has what you need, no matter how obscure, and you leave with that and a host of other things you realize you can't do without. Best of all, the folks here are friendly, they know their stuff, and they always welcomed me with a kind word and a smile. Don't miss this place. I really have to agree with all of the reviewers there. Wow, look at those saws. Amazing how many of each tool they really have. But when I was there, I first had to walk through the store just to kind of get it out of my system. It was almost a panic, like, oh my goodness, what am I going to find here? And then, you settle down, you start looking close. Almost each one of those bins you walk by, or buckets, is just filled with quality tools. And there are a lot of treasures in there. It can be high quality antiques, antique tools, brand new like tools, snap-on tools, tons of Klein tools. I'm an enormous amount. And I did find a couple of things. However, I was flying and I wasn't using a checked bag, so I couldn't really grab a lot of the stuff that I wanted. But I'm going to go back with a vehicle and get a few things that I'd like. But anyway, I picked up one thing and it was marked $15, and immediately Steve said, how about 12? I mean, just right off the bat. I picked up some snap-on sockets. He said, like a half-inch drive, impact, 21 millimeter deep. He said, maybe $10 or so. And yeah, absolutely. Part of my overlanding is to have that extra 21. But then I also started thinking, what else could I get on an airplane? I could easily take anything cloth, so I found some brand new, still in the package, Klein zip pouches, and got a great deal on those. Notice all these books. If you want to find those, your Chilton manuals or whatever, there's the vinyl records that one guy mentioned. Lots of history here, and if you sell the car, sell the book. Anyway, here's some of the museum stuff. You just look around, like back in this corner, just all kinds of stuff. That looks like a testing bench there. There is so much going on. Need cast iron? Here's some of the stuff where it starts looking like a new inventory. This is also eBay stuff. I noticed that. I saw a sign that this was currently listed. So that's stuff they've got. Those books up at the top were National Geographics. And then, as I kept going, lots of new stuff, new stock, tons. These are Von hammers. Look at all of those, all in the package, in the box still. Just an enormous amount of tools. Anyway, this is kind of one of those stores that you find it hard to believe. You really have to see it. And then if you know what you're looking for, there are great deals to be had here. This is some of the old photographs, the last 100 years of this institution, this tool store, the old first couple there. So anyway, thanks for joining me on this tool tourism tour of Charlie's Secondhand in Denver, Colorado. If you're ever in this area, please stop by. It's just worth it. Makes you really respect the people that are kind of watching over the old tools. And with that, Doc out.